Good afternoon, everyone. From today, we start new topic, that is history of repertories or historical evolution of repertory. Origin of the concept of repertorization, how the concept of repertorization it get originated, and how the repertories are evolved. So, study of history is essential. Am I audible? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay. Study of history is essential because it provides inspiration for the present and future. History reminds us our past regarding the history reminds us our past regarding the activities of the workers in the particular field. Thereby, the posterity are inspired to go a long way to achieve the goal. Repertories have helped conscientious homeopaths in their struggle for selection of the right remedy. Okay, so why we know how how the repertories are developed, how what is the history of evolution of repertories. So this is the reason why we should know how repertories are developed, because we should know because it gives inspiration for the present as well as for future. Then we are inspired to go a long way to achieve the goal. Repertories are helpful to select the right remedies. So we should know how the repertories are developed. Since from the time Master Hahnemann discovered the science of homeopathic therapeutics and proved cinchona bark on himself. All of you know that he proved first cinchona bark, and then after getting some symptoms, when he get cured, uh, when he get the result of cinchona bark, and then he proved many drugs on himself, on other healthy persons. So he proved cinchona bark first on himself. A number of drugs have been proved on healthy human beings. A kind of medicine introduced by Master Hahnemann, the father of homeopathy. That all of you know that he introduced many medicines in the field of homeopathy. He found that not only the actions of those drugs supposed to be specific for certain diseases by orthodox medical system were noted in a very general way in pharmacopoeia, but also they produced those very symptoms on animal for which they were curative, and he decided to prove these drugs himself. The result of this unique kind of proving brought forth a wealth of symptoms, each and every alteration in final sensation and function was noted in the Materia Medica. It was not possible for a human mind to accurately remember all these symptoms in detail with their extension, sensation, modalities, and so on and so forth along their comparative values. As we all know from Cinchona bark, he started to prove many medicines on himself, on many other healthy persons, and after proving any medicine, he note down each and every alteration in the state of health, each and every finer sensation and functions. So in each medicine, the number of symptoms, they are much more. Each medicine is full of minor sensations, minor alterations in the state of health, minor changes in the functions, modalities, all extensions in detail. So our Materia Medica, it become too much enlarged with these drugs, and it was not possible for any human mind to accurately remember all these symptoms as well as accurately recollect all these symptoms, recall the name of the medicine whenever needed. It was difficult task for any human mind, and so he think to write down such index of symptoms to find out the simillimum easily. As stated earlier, some 3000 odd remedies have been proved so far. Means in those days about 3000 remedies get proved. In Hahnemann's time only about 100 drugs were proved as remedies, and provings multiplied. It became a problem to keep track of all the symptoms, and Master Hahnemann himself consciously felt the need for an indexing of the growing pool of information. So, as we discussed in the earlier lectures, that though it was a very confusing task, no human mind can able to recollect or to remember each and every symptom of each and every medicine. Many times we cannot able to name, we cannot able to find out which symptom is present in which medicine. So this difficulty was also felt by Dr. Hahnemann, and so he felt the need for indexing of this growing pool of information. He felt need to index symptoms properly so that we can easily find out the medicines related to or indicated to that symptom. Hahnemann realized the limitation of human mind to remember all the symptoms and felt the need for an aid to retrieve the facts. He was also posed questions regarding finding out simillimum from many similars. So from many similars or group of similars to find out the exact simillimum, it is also helpful. He demonstrated the procedure of working of two cases in Materia Medica Pura, which gave some idea about his concept on which repertorization stands today. So as there are many drugs at that time which we found in our Materia Medica Pura, and in these books there are two cases are worked by Dr. Hahnemann, and from that worked out cases we get the idea about his concept on which repertorization stands today. He wrote in the preamble to Merit Materia Medica Pura that for the convenience of treatment we require to all he wrote in the preamble to the Materia Medica Pura that for the convenience of treatment we require to write down all the medicines producing symptoms along with the circumstances under which they occur, expressing the medicines in short by a few letters, and proceed in the same way with all other symptoms. From the last thus prepared, we shall be able to perceive the remedy sought for, which covers homeopathically most of the symptoms, especially most peculiar and characteristic one, and thus was born the concept of repertory and repertorization. So when he was, or in these two cases, whatever he sorted, he worked on these two cases in Materia Medica Pura. What he was done, he was write down the symptom. In front of that symptom, he write down the indicated medicines, the medicines in which we found that symptom, and in such way he write down all the symptoms one by one with their indicated medicine, and he sort out the medicines which covers most of the symptoms, and especially the most characteristic peculiar symptom of that case. And this was his working method on cases to find out the simillimum which we found in Materia Medica Pura. And from this concept only, the concept of repertory, to write down the symptoms, index of symptoms, then to the concept of repertorization, that means to find out or to analyze the symptoms, to evaluate the symptoms, to make the proper totality of symptoms, then form the repertorial totality and do proper repertorization. In repertorization also we take symptoms. If you have seen repertory sheets previously, then in the repertory sheets on the we write down the symptom rubric per symptom. Then indicated medicines of that symptoms, we write down the marks of that, of those medicines which are indicated for that symptom. So that was the method which is based on the method of Dr. Hahnemann, which he was done previously, and we have two cases of his working cases of his work. We have two worked out cases of Dr. Hahnemann in Materia Medica Pura, and so the concept of repertory and repertorization was born from that time, or from that cases only. Contribution of Master Hahnemann and early repertories. So, era of early repertories. It is also called as Hahnemannian era or era of early repertories. As early as in 1805, Hahnemann's famous work in Latin, that is Fragmenta de Viribus Medicamentorum Positivis, as all you know, this was the first work of Dr. Hahnemann, but which was not yet published. So, the Fragmenta de Viribus Medicamentorum Positivis was Hahnemann's famous work in Latin, which contained, here by mistake it was published, it is written that it was published, but it was not yet published, and it contained the symptoms observed in first part and an index, a repertory in second part. He also published another short repertory in Latin in 1817. He also did have a repertory to use in his daily practice, comprising of 4 volumes and 4,239 pages, with slits to hold square bits of paper to be changed at need. So this was the early era of repertories. This was the Hahnemannian era of repertories. That that era, in 1805, he write down his own index of symptom, which was not yet published till today, but technically he was the first he was the first repertorian, or he was the first to write down the index of symptoms. He completed his work in 1805, and the name of his work was given, that is Fragmenta de Viribus Medicamentorum Positivis. This was frequently asked in exams, especially in oral. What is the name of Dr. Hahnemann's repertory and when it was completed? Is it get published? So the answer was, it was Fragmenta de Viribus Medicamentorum Positivis is the Hahnemann's famous work, or it is the Hahnemann's index of symptoms, which he completed in 1805, and it was not yet published till today. Then in this index of symptoms, there are two parts. In first part, it contains symptoms observed, and in the second part, an index, means a repertory. He, after his first writing, he published another short repertory in Latin in 1817. Then he have a repertory to use in his daily practice comprising of 4 volumes and 4,239 pages with slits to hold square bits of paper to be changed and moved. So how the repertory was arranged, how the repertory was comprised, it was given which repertories are present in the early era or Hahnemannian era of repertories. Then in about 1829, he assigned Dr. Ruppel to arrange a repertory of the remedies, which later on formed the first part of the chronic diseases, and on which Ruckert worked for about 8 years. His work being constantly checked by Hahnemann, but his work remained limited to a manuscript form only to be housed Hell's Museum in Germany. Means, as Dr. Ruppert, he was the follower of Dr. Hahnemann, and in about 1829 he assigned Dr. Hahnemann assigned Dr. Ruppert to arrange a repertory of the remedies, which later on formed the first part of chronic diseases. And this first part of chronic diseases, which he arranged as a repertory, he worked on that part for about 8 years to complete it. And while he compiling his repertory, he was arranging his repertory, it was constantly checked by Dr. Hahnemann, but though it was a very good arrangement of the symptoms, but it remained limited to a manuscript form only and to be housed Hell's Museum. It is limited to a manuscript form only to be housed Hell's Museum in Germany. At about the summer period, Hahnemann engaged Dr. Jar to complete the second part of chronic diseases. As Dr. Ruppert, he completed the first part of chronic diseases after 8 years. Then Dr. Hahnemann, he asked Dr. Jar to complete the second part of the chronic diseases and to prepare a repertory well as encyclopedia of symptoms. Then Dr. Jar prepared his first repertory in 2 volumes in German containing 1052 and 1254 pages. So in his encyclopedia of in his repertory, in Jar's repertory, there are 2 volumes. In the first volume there are 1052 pages, and in the second volume there is 1254 pages, and later on published third repertory on glands, mucous membrane, duct and skin diseases. He also put listed symptoms from chronic diseases alphabetically under appropriate heading. So Dr. Jar, he prepared his repertory in first repertory in 2 volume, then third repertory which is written on gland, mucous membrane, duct and skin diseases, and he also put symptoms from chronic diseases alphabetically under appropriate heading. As he was also follower of Dr. Hahnemann, so in this way Dr. Jar, he completed his first repertory in 2 volume. Don't write on screen. Then he also completed the chronic diseases under different alphabetically under appropriate heading. But Hahnemann did not approve Dr. Jar's work as he felt that Jar's work was not very exact and these again remained in manuscript form. So as it was not get sanctioned by Dr. Hahnemann, as Dr. Hahnemann, he was not satisfied with the work which was done by Dr. Jar. Dr. Hahnemann, he was not satisfied with the work of Jar. So it also remained as a manuscript in the manuscript form. Jar's repertory underwent many editions. Its first edition in Germany in 1835. Its fourth edition was published in 1851, in which he adopted the evaluation method of Bonnigusen. In 1833, Glaser published his first alphabetical pocket repertory in Leipzig containing 165 pages. Then in 1833, Joseph L. published Practice of Medicine. Also in the same year, Weber Pesnier Repertory of Purely Pathogenic, which is prefaced by Dr. Hahnemann, containing 375 pages, and it was get published. In 1937, Roof published his first repertory book containing 236 pages at Stuttgart. In 1838, the first English language repertory was published, which was written by Dr. Herring. So in this way, the first English language repertory written by Dr. Herring, which was get published in 1838. Hahnemann himself completed a repertory in 1830 to 1832, which could not be published because he found the work imperfect, and also his publisher, Mr. Arnold, was not in position to publish it. As we all know, he completed his work, but basically he was not satisfied with his own work, as well as he thinks that his work is imperfect, as well as his publisher, Mr. Arnold, he was not in position to publish it. And so it remained unpublished. It is evident from the efforts put in a position to publish it in this direction by Hahnemann that had he lived further, he would have compiled proper repertory by himself only for publication. And his first repertory, it is nothing but evident form of his efforts, which was not yet published later on also. Then this was the Hahnemann's era. Then it comes Boni-Hussein's era, or the history of repertories during Boni-Hussein's period. By this time, and within 2 years of his taking to homeopathy, Boni-Hussein had compiled his first repertory of Antisoric, with a preface by Dr. Hahnemann in 1832, under active inspiration from Dr. Hahnemann himself, as Hahnemann was very much interested in Boni-Hussein's work. As all of you know that Dr. Boni-Hussein, he converted towards homeopathy, and near about 1830 he came in contact with Dr. Hahnemann, and in 1830 to 1832, by observing Dr. Hahnemann's work, by observing the results, by following the principles of Dr. Hahnemann, he write down his own index of symptoms, and he completed it in 1832, and it was nothing but the first repertory which was get published, and the name of that repertory is Repertory of Antisoric Remedies. And this was completed under active inspiration from Dr. Hahnemann. He used this repertory in his daily practice instead of jars, and this work later on became of progenitor of further repertories to come. So as the construction of Boni-Hussein's repertory, Dr. Hahnemann, he was get satisfied